What's going on, everybody? It's just another day in the kitchen, back with another episode, and in today's video we're taking a look at none other than Travis Scott aka LaFlame and his controversial Cactus Jack Dior collaboration. Now in this video we're going to be taking a look at why this was initially cancelled and what happened to it. Now if you've been paying attention to Travis over the last couple of weeks, you'll know that he of course dropped his coveted Audemars Piguet collaboration, and if you're not too familiar and want to know more about it as well as the merch, I dropped a video on it that I'll have in the description. And before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to my homie Strain Beats for curating the beats for this video. And while you're here, you might as well join our free Discord and drop a like and subscribe. And it was around the time of that AP Travis Scott collab just a couple of weeks ago that I was actually reminiscing on the Cactus Jack Dior collection, and I wondered what the heck happened to it. So I thought that this was the perfect time to make a video. And coincidentally, I actually dropped a 4-year anniversary to Travis Scott's Jack Boys album yesterday, which was also the anniversary of my introduction to Pop Smoke, and may he rest in peace. The relationship that the two had was deep, and I want you guys to hear how they met.
Travis, yeah. When I met him, I was cool. I was trying to keep it cool, right? And then he just he started rapping. And I'm like, yo, this nigga is different.
Now, although Pop Smoke's time with us was cut very short, I think it's so raw to see just how impactful his legacy was, both in music and in fashion, and even the way people say things in New York to this day. I think it's extra cool to see just how impactful his relationship was with Travis, so much so that Travis dedicated this first piece of the Cactus Jack Dior collection to him. And here's a clip of Travis being mobbed at the Dior runway show. Now, in addition to that unreleased Pop Smoke dedication tee, Travis was also spotted wearing these unreleased at the time, one-of-one Cactus Jack Dior inspired pieces. It got everybody thinking that the collection was definitely happening. And with the hype that Travis had, of course they had a successful Dior runway show that you guys will see here in just a moment. However, as we all know, things took a tragic turn at the astroworld tragedy, and as a result, many of Travis Scott's endorsements ended up falling through. And unfortunately for Travis at the time, this historic opportunity ended up falling through. I forgot to mention that this was the first time that an artist, such as a musical artist, ended up working and collaborating with Dior, so it was obviously a huge deal. Now, like I mentioned, Travis had a successful runway themed show, and not only was it successful for debuting the pieces, but it was also our first intro to the song Lost Forever, which played at the beginning of the show in the background, as well as some other unreleased tracks that actually didn't make their way onto Utopia. So Travis, if you see this, you need to drop them for us. Now, my favorite part about this runway show is Travis Scott's reaction right here at the end, because I honestly think it's so raw to see an artist as big as he is still get excited to achieve something like this. For most people, getting a runway show and being involved in high fashion may not be a big deal. However, if you followed Travis throughout his years, you know that high fashion is something that goes hand in hand with his career and his lyrics, and it's definitely something to achieve, and as a fan, I was super stoked for him. Now, as for the collection itself, I wanted to show you guys what it looked like. I'll be very transparent and very honest, and I don't think your boy will ever be able to afford some of these pieces, but honestly, I could see the vision and I can appreciate it from afar. I always mention in all of my videos how I think it's so important for artists to be seen wearing their merch, whether it's a tour shirt, a band shirt, or whatever it is, and in this case, LaFlame here is no exception. Here he is spotted wearing some of these pieces that were available as part of this collection. And I even found one of Travis Scott's frequent collaborators, James Blake, spotted wearing this Cactus Jack Dior tee right here, which is probably one of my favorite pieces from the collection. Now, something else I thought of while making this video is that Travis does have a lot of lit jewelry, and if you guys would like to see a separate video on me covering that, let me know in the comments, because I honestly think it would be pretty cool to see some of the pieces and how they've evolved throughout the various eras and the different albums that he's dropped. Now, if you can recall a little bit earlier in the video, I mentioned how the Cactus Jack Dior collaboration was initially postponed indefinitely around December of 2021, of course, due to the tragedy and circumstances surrounding the Astroworld festival. Now, truth be told, as someone who traditionally couldn't afford this Dior collection anyway, I wasn't so surprised that it got cancelled, of course, because of the Astroworld Tragedy Festival. However, to my surprise, and probably most Travis Scott fans' surprise, it was in July of 2022 that this collection ended up actually releasing. Some of the pieces that we saw previewed were not actually available to online consumers, which is of course a bummer. However, for the most part, this collection was available both online and in store from what I could see online. Now, I wanted to show you guys what this collection looked like, and in particular show off some of my favorite pieces. This photo of Travis Scott right here wearing this polo is probably my favorite photo from this collection, in addition to some of the other tees that we'll see here in just a little bit. And as a lifelong fan of LaFlame, I can only imagine just how raw it was to be designing some of these high fashion pieces and influencing it with his own aesthetic. If you followed Travis Scott at all throughout his career, you know that he loves the use of cacti and brown tones and just the color brown and things like that. That gives you that whole kind of Western vibe, and it's so sick to see that actually influenced here and part of this Dior Cactus Jack collection. Now, something else I wanted to point out is that if you're watching this and you're thinking that you'd like to get your hands on some of these pieces, I'd like to say good luck. It's actually not that easy to find all of these pieces online, and I don't know if it was just limited availability for the collection or if there were just more pieces that were available in person. However, even after finding this collection on goat.com right here, not all of them are available. Now, I did want to point out that as part of this Cactus Jack Dior collection, that Travis also did design some footwear, which I think is pretty dope, and personally this Converse style right here is probably my favorite. Although I'm not super big on high fashion, some of these pieces are actually pretty cool, and I'd love to know in the comments what you guys think. I think some of the paint splatter pieces remind me of Margiela, and honestly I think that that's pretty raw as well. And another part of Travis Scott's history with the Dior brand I wanted to highlight is how they connected with him in collaboration with the Jordan brand for the Air Jordan 1 Diors. I was actually able to get these in hand myself, and I do think it's so sick that they were actually able to work with Travis to promote these, given that he's got one of the most famous and successful Jordan collaborations himself. Now, with that being said, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching and cooking with the kitchen. I hope you learned something new about LaFlame, and if anything, you can see that he's a real one for his friends and dedicating this piece here to Pop Smoke. As always, guys, thank you so much for cooking with the kitchen, and let me know what you'd like to see me cover next. I've been definitely trying to grind out these videos and stay consistent, so I appreciate every single one of you that watches and tunes in and likes and subscribes. As always, guys, remember to stay safe out there, and remember, it's lit, straight up, and peace. And remember to join the free Discord, guys.